Well, howdy, Broncos country. Cecil Lammey, Andrew Mason here in Denton, Texas. The University of North Texas is hosting the practices for Shrine Bowl week. And, of course, we were wondering if Deion Sanders was going to be out there. He wasn't. He won't be out there this week. He is just going to watch and do interviews rather than actually take part in the practices and the game later on this week.
Yeah, it's a disappointment to be sure because we're excited to see Shedeur practice and play in the game. He's not going to do either of that, but we've seen this before. Najee Harris did this at the Senior Bowl 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was, where they show up, they don't participate, they don't play in the game, but they are there to kind of support their teammates. You saw that from Shedeur today.
Support their teammates and go through the interview process. Of course, Shedeur did have the interview with Tennessee Titans on Friday where Deion Sanders, his father, FaceTimed him in the middle of it. I wasn't the most thrilled by that, to be honest.
Yeah, during a meeting, but can confirm today during practice, the Tennessee contingent was around Shedeur chatting it up. So they got a little extra time with him. Maybe no FaceTime from Dad this time.
It's their turn to be quarterback-centric like it was the Broncos' turn in recent years. And it's actually nice to not have to talk about quarterbacks this year because Bo Nix is established as the starter. You're going to see where he goes the next few years, so you're looking for pieces around him. Let's start with the tight end position. There was one guy I liked early from the East, Rivaldo Fairweather out of Auburn, making some catches in traffic. He's more of your in-space, long, lean type. We get to a more traditional tight end with the West practice who caught both of our sets of eyes, I should say, and that's Luke Lachey out of Iowa.
Yes, and I love that. I love when we watch practice separately, then we get together like, did you see Lachey?
Yeah.
Like, he was the guy out there knowing how to use that frame. He also had a seam ripper play where he goes down the middle of the field, scores a touchdown on that. So using that frame, using that speed there as well, an outstanding start for his practices today.
Iowa tight ends usually do pretty well in the NFL, of course, and this is a guy who will also get in there and block as well, but seeing him downfield like that, definitely a sleeper. And you and I were talking a little bit after practice. We talk about tight end early in the draft. This might be a double-dip year for tight ends because, at least based on what I saw today, I was generally impressed with these guys. You're mostly talking day 3 tight ends, but it showed the depth of this position group this year.
Yeah, we always talk about it with running back, like, oh, this running back class is so deep. I can make the same argument against, like, well, don't take Ashton Jeanty in the first round because this running back class is so deep. Well, Tyler Warren the first round, okay, but this tight end class is really deep. Running back's a little bit deeper, but when you can get a guy like Lachey on day 3, probably a 5th-round pick right now, that shows really good sign. If you take a Harold Fannin, who we will see in a couple of days at the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, Harold Fannin, in fact, actually saw him on a 3-round mock to the Broncos in round 2.
Okay.
Saw that yesterday. The mocks are coming fast and furious. Another position of need, of course, is inside linebacker. And that's a spot usually you can cross off as you get into day 3. And again, independently, I will tell you this. Like, I was watching practice in one area, Cecil was watching in another, and we both ended practice with the name Chandler Martin out of the University of Memphis on the tips of our tongues.
Yes.
Always around the ball.
Wow, and telling you about it had me saying, damn, Gina. If you're a Martin fan, you'll remember that. So, like, it was around the ball, and usually in these practices, with an inside linebacker and running back, it's difficult to tell. There's no tackling to the ground. But you saw with Martin, he was everywhere. He was there in coverage, had a pick 6, and that really gets the attention of folks like us and the scouts that are in attendance as well. So Martin with that pick 6, always around the ball, thumping guys, even Taj Brooks, knocking a big back to the ground and then talking to him about it. You'll love to see it.
Yeah, definitely brought the enthusiasm and brought the thunder, both in terms of what he brought with his body, but also a little bit vocal out there. There are some that won't like it, but I like the intensity out there from a guy like Chandler Martin on day 1.
A little tiny bit, Al Wilson.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah, we love
You know,
those
Al would glare over you and say something from time to time.
Right.
After making a play, if you were following the Broncos 2 decades ago, you know exactly who we're talking about. Plenty more to come. We're hoping to hear from Shedeur Sanders later on today. We'll be getting into Shedeur. We'll be getting into all the CU Buffs. It was kind of a mixed bag for the Buffs receivers out there today, although LeJontay Wester with a really nice catch downfield. I thought he got it. The defenders thought he didn't, but looked to me like I slowed it down. Looked like he got both feet in there for a grab on a post route there.
Yeah, it's funny. The offensive players were celebrating, and Wester certainly standing out with that quickness.
Yeah.
Ref whistled it incomplete.
Yeah.
So who's to say?
Yeah. Look good to me. That would have gone to the
Looked good to me
replay.
too.
But there's no replay out here. But we have plenty to talk about. We'll have more, of course, in a Saturday edition of Orange and Blue today. We'll break down a lot more from what we saw today and a lot more of what we heard as we go talk to some of these guys here this afternoon and on Sunday afternoon. So that's it for now from here in Denton, Texas, the University of North Texas. For Cease, I'm Mace. Take care. Thanks for watching.